Here are some tips for preparing for your citizenship application. Hi, my name is Alina Ray Conrad. I've been an immigration attorney since 2007, and today we're going to talk about how you can prepare for your citizenship interview. So the first few tips are going to be things to do before your actual interview. And so one of the things is going to be to review your application. The immigration officer is going to have a copy of not only your citizenship application, but all prior applications, any petitions that have ever been filed on your behalf or that you've done for yourself. So you want to be reviewing that application, be familiar with the information that you put, and be prepared to answer questions about it. You want to practice English. If English is not your first language, practice speaking, practice reading, practice writing. If you are not, if you don't meet an exception for being able to take it in another language. The interview will be conducted in English unless you meet one of the exceptions, and you will be asked to read and write 1 to 3 sentences, as well as answer the civics questions. Which brings us to our next tip, that you want to study for those questions. So there are 100 questions that you need to study. The day of the interview, they're only going to ask you 10. In order to pass, you only have to get 6 out of 10 correct. So that's for the civics portion. You also have the English portion, which involves reading 1 to 3 sentences and writing 1 to 3 sentences. I will put a link down below with the USCIS website that has study materials, so you can review those. You will study that. If you meet the exceptions for being able for the English requirement, you still have to take the civics and history test. So still study for that. If for some reason you don't pass the first time, they will give you a second chance to come back on a different day to retake that portion of the test. So for example, if you did the reading and writing fine and you missed more than 4 questions on the civics exam, then when you come back, you'll just retake that portion of the exam. If you, again, don't pass it, then you would have to reapply again, pay the fee again. The good news is that immigration has a very high pass rate for the citizenship test. So as long as you study, you'll have a really good chance of passing. So the day of the interview, you want to make sure that you have all the required documents that you need to bring to the interview. Of course, your residency card, your passport, your driver's license, or state ID. Any documentation that is requested by USCIS will be on your interview notice. If you hire an attorney, they should also be giving you a checklist that has all the documents that you need to take or that they will be taking on your behalf. You want to make sure you're on time for your interview. Depending on where your interview is, you might need to arrive maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour early to get inside the building, to make your way through security. So if you have an immigration attorney, they should be able to prepare you for what time you need to arrive and how early you should be there. So you want to also dress appropriately. I usually recommend my clients do business casual, so pants and blouse, pants and a shirt. No t-shirts, no open-toed shoes, sandals, no caps or any type of hats. So you want to, present yourself as this is, something serious and give them a positive impression. You want to be respectful and courteous to the immigration officer and any immigration USCIS staff that you meet along the way. Depending on the location, the person that you check in with. There's sometimes people who, not the immigration officers, who might take your fingerprint or photo. So be respectful and courteous to the staff as well. And once it is time for the interview, you want to listen carefully, answer truthfully. You'll be put under oath. You want to answer the question that is being asked. If they ask you a yes or no question, you can answer in yes or no. And then if they want more information, then let them ask an additional question. If you didn't hear the question or if you don't understand the question, then you should ask, the immigration officer know that. Finally, you should be positive about the experience. Some immigration officers, it is a serious event. So there are some immigration officers who are friendly and some who are more serious. Their demeanor doesn't necessarily reflect what's going on with your case. So, go in prepared, having reviewed your application. If you hire an attorney, hopefully they did a mock interview, which is what I do with my clients. So we go over the questions that are really asked, and that way everybody is comfortable with what goes on at the interview. And so the main things are, though, to first make sure you are eligible. At this point that you listen to the video, you might have already submitted your application, but it is very important, if you haven't reached out part yet, you haven't applied, double check that you are eligible for citizenship before you spend the time and money doing that. So I hope these tips have helped you. Best of luck with your interview.